Hi everybody, welcome to 5 Minute Ministries. Now the Bible tells us in Ephesians, husbands, love your wives. And over the years I've heard many preachers and teachers talk about this verse. And as they do so, they say husbands are commanded to love because men by nature don't know how to love, or they're somehow incapable of loving. Now, if you look at the men around you, hopefully you're observing them and see that men do know how to love, and they are certainly capable of it. There is no hindrance there. Men know how to love. They do it all the time. Maybe they don't express it in the way that their wives think they should, or women in general think they should, or society thinks they should. But men do love. Yeah, I know I am, hopefully people see that I am a loving, caring person, that I do love my wife, I do love my family, I do love my friends and co-workers, that I do love God. I hope they see that they look at me and notice that I am certainly capable of love. But see, that's the problem. People are stopping. That verse, and what I mean by stopping, they stop at that phrase alone. They don't finish the verse. It says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself for her. See, so we're not commanded to love because men know how to love. The thing is, a lot of men love on the basic level. They do, and I hate to use this phrase, they do the bare minimum of love requirements. Say, well, I go to work, I provide the money, I show up, I spend a little time, I do this, I do that, and another box to check off. But see, we are told to love as Christ loves. Now Christ loves in a much grander way, in a much bigger way than we understand. He gave his life for the church. And he not only gave his life for the church, but he lives for the church. He didn't just die. He came back to life, and he lives for the church. See, a lot of men will die for their families, but they don't know how to live for their families. They will be loving and they will be compassionate, but they stop at the basics. And that's what this verse is talking about. And men, we need to not be basic when it comes to our love. We need to go above and beyond. And what does that mean? It means we put the needs of others first. We will sacrifice our needs, our desires, our wants for the benefit of someone else. We don't stop at the bare minimum. We don't try to find quick solutions to problems. We try to fix things long term. And we are in for the long haul. We don't just throw our hands up and say, you take care of it, and walk away when problems arise. We are making sure that the needs of others are before our own. Now, what does that look like? Well, that changes depending on the person. And while I'm not a big proprietor of situational ethics, sometimes one person needs something that another person won't. Just as a quick and minor example, if you want to go golfing, but your wife wants to spend time with you, you sacrifice the golf to spend time with your wife and go golfing another time. Just as a minor thing. Now, people don't think about this. Most, well, I deserve time. I deserve to be able to do what I want to. And what about my needs? Well, I find that if you sacrifice your time and your efforts for another person, that person will do the same in turn. Now, it may not always happen. It may not happen every time. But the point isn't, especially in a marriage, the point isn't you. The point is other people. Jesus sacrificed himself on behalf of other people. What about him? He was innocent. But he died on a cross for us. He could have stayed dead and left us to our own devices, but he came back to life. And he moved on so the church could have the Holy Spirit, giving us another gift, a gift that will go with us no matter where we go. Because if he stayed here and stayed in his earthly ministry, he as human could only be in one place at one time. So he couldn't be with everybody all the time, but the Holy Spirit can. So he did what was best for the church, and He gave us the Holy Spirit. Now we are to look for ways and opportunities to give our best to those that we love, and even to those that we hate, because God tells us to love our enemies. So take some time, find out where you can be sacrificial and show love sacrificially, because it's always a good thing to have an opportunity to show our love, and not only our love, but the love of God as well. This has been 5 Minute Ministries, and I'll see you next time.